Hey there, I want you to picture this with me for just a second. You're 8 years old, you've got your favorite jelly sandals on, you're gripping your glitter gel pens, about to write in your Lisa Frank notebook. And in your head, everything is possible. Like full on Delulu CEO of your own Barbie hair empire. You were plotting shampoo names and floor plans before you even knew what rent was. Fast forward, you're in your 30s now, you own a team based salon. You've worked your butt off. You've hired, fired, trained, cried, coached, and created something meaningful. You're really good at what you do, and yet some days it still feels like no one's listening. Like the team forgot the dream. Like you forgot it a little too. If that hits even a little close to home, I made this for you. Because here's the real problem. There are 5 mindset traps that every team based salon owner falls into at some point, and worse, your team is falling into them too. That's why you feel like you're managing personalities instead of building momentum. That's why people seem to be just getting by instead of growing. And that's why you're tired. You don't need more motivation. You need to expose the trap because once you can name it, you can shift it. So let's go. Here's trap number 1. Murphy's Law. What Murphy's Law states is anything that can go wrong will. So I want you to picture this like a domino. The So you're finally feeling like things are back on track. And then, boom, your washer goes out in the middle of you doing a color correction. And so while you're calling for repairs, your top producing stylist comes in and says she's putting in her notice. And then you're calm on the outside, but inside you're thinking, here we go again. And what happens next? Someone else quits. Then your front desk messes up the schedule and you spill toner on your white shirt, and you're convinced it's all connected. Because when you expect things to go wrong, your brain starts scanning for proof. It becomes a self fulfilling prophecy. I used to live in, constant cleanup mode, plugging holes and wondering why nobody was taking initiative. But here's the thing, you can't lead from fear. Your energy sets the emotional tone. So if you're expecting the next disaster, your team feels that. And instead of rising up, they shut down. So your systems aren't failing. It's your belief that things will fall apart that needs some adjusting because you're not cursed. You just need to expect better and prepare with peace, not panic. So let's talk about number 2. Number 2 is Kidlin's Law. And what Kidlin's Law states is if you can write the problem down, it's already half solved. So if you can write the problem down clearly, then it's half solved. So it's really the difference between messy versus clear. So how does this show up in the salon? Here's what happens all the time. A salon owner vents, my team, they just don't get it. And so I ask, okay, what exactly did you ask them to do? They'll respond, well, they should just know. Does this sound familiar? Another time I asked a salon owner to write down what she wanted her front desk to say during new guest calls. She stared at the paper like it was a calculus exam, and I thought she And really, she thought she was being clear. And you probably think you are too. But what feels obvious in your head might feel like fog to your team. And clarity is kindness because ambiguity, because chaos, I was going to say am, ambu, you guys, I can't even say it. So this is great. Ambiguity, thank you, brain. Ambiguity breeds resentment, or chaos really breeds resentment when it's unclear. So if you don't get what you hope for, you actually get what you communicate clearly, repeatedly, and simply. And here's where trap number 3 comes in. So trap number 3, this is Gilbert's law. What Gilbert's law states is the biggest problem at work is no one tells you what to do. You guys, this is huge. If no one is telling you what to do, how are you ever going to do it? Because we need to have all of these things in place to know what to do. Vision, expectation, and some accountability. So a new hire once ghosted on her second Saturday. And when I followed up with her, she said she didn't know she was supposed to stay past 2 p.m. And honestly, she was telling the truth. We assumed she knew, but we never told her. And we didn't lose her because she was flaky. We lost her because she was floating. So you think you've been clear, but vision without expectation is just a cute idea, and expectations without accountability, that's chaos. So here's the new normal. Your team isn't lazy, they're lost. And when people don't know the game they're playing, they'll quit before they lose. Here's where trap number 4 comes into play. And this is Wilson's law. What Wilson's law states is as soon as you make it idiot proof, someone will build a better idiot. You guys, if this isn't true, I don't know what is. So you create this system, and then all of a sudden, wow, this is a really great hand, Lindsay. Somebody comes in and it's a human touch. They touch it. So you've built the step-by-step chart. You've printed the color formulation Bible. You've written the guest journey SOP. You've included photos, QR codes. You've laminated it. And someone still finds a way to skip a step, to forget a name, to leave the color bowls in the sink. I used to think, why do I even bother creating these systems? But here's the truth. Systems don't replace people. They empower them. And you can't automate accountability. So you have to enroll people into it with coaching, curiosity, and care. And listen, your frustration may be valid, but frustration doesn't build leaders. Coaching does. So let's talk about trap number 5. And this is Falkland's Law. What it states is when it's not necessary to make a decision, it's necessary not to. Take a deep breath on that one. That's pretty freeing. When it's not necessary to make a decision, it's necessary not to. Because a lot of the times we think we have this timeline, and it looks something like, now, wait, wisdom. That's if we allow it. Salon owners live in the land of pressure decisions. Fire her or keep coaching, cut their hours or try to grow the team, change the brand or give it one more quarter. I once worked with a salon owner who was caught in that loop. She had a stylist who was struggling, but wasn't toxic. So she wanted to act fast. But instead of forcing a decision, she paused. She reclarified her expectations and she opened deeper coaching conversations and gave it 30 days. And guess what? That stylist became a leader. Listen, I love making a fast decision, especially when it makes sense. But waiting doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're wise enough to not move from fear or ego, because some decisions grow stronger in the quiet. So here's your new playbook. You've been doing this long enough to know more hustle isn't the answer. You don't need to burn out trying to carry the whole salon on your back. You need to think differently, to lead differently, to grow without losing yourself or your weekends. And that's where Salon Business School changes the game. We don't teach you how to hustle harder. We teach you how to lead with power and peace so that your team wins, your culture scales, and your freedom becomes real, not just an inspirational quote on your Instagram story. So what now? Do you stay stuck in a game you didn't mean to play? Or do you step into a new kind of leadership, one built on wisdom, clarity, and calm power? If this resonated with you, we're hosting a challenge just for salon owners just like you. It's 3 days of breakthroughs, belief breaking, and real strategies you can implement to get wins immediately. So click the link in the description to join the next challenge. Or if you just want to keep learning, subscribe to our channel for more mindset tools, leadership systems, and stories from salon owners that actually get it. You're closer than you think.